everybody. Um, my name is Demetra Moore with More Out of Life, and I'm here again this Thursday for my Facebook Live with you to start my new series for November. So I'm hoping you guys can hear me. I'm looking down to see if I can see if anybody's talking to me to see if you can hear me or not. I'm tuned in on my tablet too, so I can see any comments or anything that you guys are putting out there. Um, and if you know me personally, I know a lot of you guys have text me before if you can't hear me. So I'm hoping you guys can hear me this evening. And for the new people who are joining, just want to give you some insight on who I am and what I do. My name is Demetra Moore, and I am the president of More Out of Life. And what I do is I specialize in interpersonal skills. So you're probably thinking, what does that mean to me? And I'm going to talk about that more tonight. But just to give you some insight, I want you to think about this quote and how it applies to your workplace. The quote is, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And you're probably thinking, I still don't get it. Well, I specialize in enhancing, I like to call it the customer experience with your business, just so people can see what it feels like to be, I see somebody texting me. Oh, it's kind of low. So let me see, can I turn it up so you guys can hear me? What it feels like. What about now? Somebody else text me, so I'm trying to pay attention to your messages to see. What about now? I'm hoping that's better for you. If not, send me another message. I'm watching it online, so I'll be able to know if I'm not loud enough for you guys. But nevertheless, I'm the person that pretty much comes in and helps you enhance your customer experience. And let me explain what that does for you. When you enhance your customer experience, you expand your brand awareness, which does what for your clients? They go out and tell everybody how great you are, and then they do what? They get referrals to come to you, which expands your platform. So that's what I do. I go out to small business owners and I do corporate training, or I do webinars customized. It wouldn't be exactly like this, but it would be customized versions of this. So I'm hoping you guys can hear me a little better. If not, let me know. I'm going to check my laptop or my tablet, whichever I can get to pull up, to see if you guys are hearing me. So I'm hoping you are. And I haven't gotten another message, so I'm thinking you guys can hear me pretty good. But nevertheless, I'm here tonight to start the series on teamwork. And this is something that I'm very excited to talk about because, again, let me read my quote just in case you guys are just tuning in. If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that quote is one of those old African proverbs, and it speaks volumes about just how we can get more things done together. So, and just to give you some insight, I've worked with several organizations where there's people that have different skill sets. There are people that are, and I'll just use this as an example. I'm not very good in Excel, but I have friends that are. I'm not very good at social media, but I have friends that are. I'm not very good at just being organized. I'm not the most organized person, but I have friends that are. And you have to learn to play to your skill sets. But in order to do that, you have to realize that you will need a team. And the same thing applies in the workplace. So when you're thinking about your team in its entirety, you know that some people have different strong suits. Some people are more organized. Some people are more creative. Some people are more logical. So in order to have your team or your business work more efficiently, you have to understand how a team works. And tonight is part one of that series to talk about how a team should or shouldn't work. So when you think about a team, I'm curious as to what you guys have in mind. So if you could put something in the comments, that'd be great. That way I can kind of engage and see what you guys are talking about. And again, I'm checking my tablet so I can know what your thoughts are, and I can make sure to address any questions that you have. But I really want to know, when you think about your team at work, what do you think about when you are giving out projects or anything of that nature? Are you considering their strong suits, or are you just overall trying to get the task done? Because that is a very important part of knowing how to have your team be effective. Now, granted, you may have the numbers, but are they effective? They may be busy, but are they productive? I mean, there are some differences there, and my goal with this series is to share some insight on how your team can be productive. They can actually be able to expand your platform, be able to get more customers to come. And one thing I like to say is you like to under promise and over deliver. You want everybody singing your praises about your business. And in order to do that, your team has to be a high performance team in your workplace. So I'm going to check again and see if I see any comments. I'm looking now. Let's see. I don't see anything yet, but I just want to make sure that I'm engaging you guys and I'm not just up here talking. I want to make sure that I'm getting the information and sharing things that you really want to hear. So the first thing when you think about your team, everybody wants people to work together, right? You guys have seen it. We all watch some sort of sport, or maybe you've seen it when, for your, in your home or in your family when you're trying to get things done. For example, the holidays are coming. You think about everybody's doing something. If you can't cook, you may be clean. If you can't clean, you may be watching kids. It's a variety of things. You may be grocery shopping. You may be cleaning the house. You may be doing something, but everybody has a role and you play to your strong suit. So for me, just to be transparent, I'm normally the person that's babysitting, or I'm the person that went to the grocery store. I know I'm not the cook. I know I'm not the organizer, but I can go to the grocery store and I can go get the items. That's my role in my family. I play that role on the team. So when you think about your team, what role are you playing? What role are you assigning to them based on their skill sets? And how are they engaging with each other? Are you forcing engagement? Those are just some things I want you to think about when you think about the overview of your team. So the first thing I want you to think about is how well does your team engage with each other? Do you have one person maybe off to the side, or they never ever talk in meetings, they never ever say anything to anybody else on the team? They come into work, they do their job, and they leave? Or do you have the person, the social butterfly that talks to everybody? Think about that for a second. What type of people do you have on your team? And if you're trying to figure that out, just pull out a piece of paper, make some notes, and I want you to think about how you can get your employees to engage. And you're probably thinking, I try to get them to come to things at work and things of that nature, but one thing that you may want to consider is that forced engagement doesn't work very well. You got to let it happen organically. So if you're having lunch and learns and you're forcing people to do certain things with their time that they just don't want to do, it doesn't go over very well. So one good thing that you could implement that doesn't cost anything is to create an employee engagement team. They may be the people that give out birthday cards. They may be the people that plan after work events. And those, you don't force people to come, because what I've learned by working at different organizations and partnering with them is that everything you like, everybody doesn't like. So if you let it go organically, then people can choose to come if they want. And if that's not their thing, then they're not feeling awkward or, feeling forced to be there, or they're there and they're uncomfortable. And who knows what needs to be done after work. So if you let it be organic, you allow people to make choices with their time. You allow people to actually be more free when they show up, because they're not forced and they're actually in a better mood when they get there. So think about getting an employee engagement committee. Think about giving out birthday cards on birthdays. Think about getting everybody to sign the card, or bringing a birthday cake in or something of that nature for the month if you can't do it for each individual employee. So think about those things. Those are ways you can get people to engage. Maybe there's an outside event that you guys could attend, maybe bowling or something, where people could come out only if they want to. And again, let them actually choose some items that you guys may think about doing. So you could actually have the committee come up with the schedule of things. It's a What are things that you can do to influence employee engagement? And that does a lot for your employees. It allows them to get to know each other on a personal note. And that may give them some insight on why this person may come into work and rush out at 4 o'clock. Who knows what they have going on in their personal lives. And if you know sometimes just a little bit of insight about someone, it gives you a little bit more understanding in regards to why they live the way they live, why they do the things they do. And people are able to work together more. So that is just something to think about if you create an employee engagement committee or some type of outing where people can organically come if they wish to be a part of your event. So let me check again. I didn't see any comments down there, so just making sure. And the next thing is, I'm going to let you guess. And if you can think of anything, put it in the comments. But the informal engagement has been a winner in regards to my surveys that I've taken from different companies. They've really enjoyed that. And again, I think it'll be great if it's implemented in your business or within your team. So the next one is clarifying roles. I've seen this go really, really bad. And that's just if everybody doesn't know who is on first. That's my favorite one. You have 5 people on first. Who's really supposed to be on first? If everybody's roles are clarified there, then you won't have any problems. And this seems to happen a lot of times when managers are out of the office or there's an overflow of work and people don't have any structure in regards to what they're supposed to be doing. There are not any workflows in place. Work isn't being properly delegated. You got people having resentment issues. There's a lot of things that happen when roles aren't clarified. So you're not asked to go out and give everybody's responsibilities, just all of the details. That's not what I'm getting at. But what you may want to do is create a workflow or a handbook detailing the responsibilities of the teammate. So if an influx of work does come in, you know who is supposed to handle that work. And there is no one feeling like, I'm having to take on all this work and, my other teammates are the weakest link. If you really take some time and create a workflow, you'll be amazed at the clarity that it gives the team. And especially if it plays to their strong suits, you'll be amazed at how they're able to work together and be able to get more work done, and they'll be able to work effectively. And the other thing is, there's friction sometimes. If a manager is out of the office for whatever the reason may be, maybe it's a sick leave or what have you, or maybe they're going on vacation or medical leave or whatnot, you want to make sure all these items are detailed, because the worst thing that could happen is someone else comes in and they change the duties, and it wasn't clearly articulated to the team, but they changed them based on just they felt like this would be more effective. If there's a proper workflow, then the person's actually able to see what's going on, who's supposed to be doing what, and make changes based on the workflow, not just based on what they think may be best. And then they can actually talk to the team and say, hey, this is what we're changing. And that way it's not like, oh, well, this person got special privileges or whatnot. So it eliminates a lot of friction if all of the roles are clarified in the workplace. And I think that's just a big thing, because in working with organizations, I've seen it where people have thought, because these people worked together in the past at another organization, they felt as though it was some sort of favoritism there because the roles weren't clearly defined, or they felt like maybe this was so-and-so's family member and that's how they got the job in the first place, so they don't have to work as hard as I have to work. Again, it goes back to clarity and defining the job roles in the workplace and being able to clearly articulate what those are. So a workflow or a handbook or something, or project management, some type of manual will be effective in this manner if you are identifying the roles in a concise manner. Now, another thing you could do is actually just making sure you have frequent meetings with, if there's a project going on, making sure you have meetings with the people who are working on that project to clearly articulate what the roles are and any changes that are happening in the roles. So great communication is viable in this in this takeaway here for clarifying the roles. I've seen it turn very ugly. I've seen it just where people have had to call HR in, all because there was frustration based on work and nothing was clearly identified. So for you guys who are in management, for you guys who have small businesses, make sure that you are clearly identifying what the roles are. And you're probably thinking that's really not important right now to have a workflow, but I'm here to tell you, when you're a small business owner, your goal is for your business to expand, and you don't want it to expand and all of the information is in your head. So if you know that your business is going to be growing, the goal is to put the workflows together, so when you hire someone, or if you get an intern, or you get someone who wants to come in and volunteer to help out at your business, you want to be sure to utilize their time in the most effective way. And you want them to fit into the team in a smooth transition. You don't want it to be like, oh, this person just showed up and now I got to train them, or now I got to do this, and they don't know what they're doing and they don't know what's expected of them. You could eliminate all of that by simply clarifying the roles. So I hope that makes sense. And the other item that I wanted to talk about tonight that is really, really big when I'm out in organizations doing corporate training is people who micromanage. Now, when you think about a team, because again, we're talking about how teams can be more effective. You've never seen the coach on the court or on the field or what have you with the players. They come up with a plan, and then the players go out and implement. That's how it's supposed to be. So if you are a manager or small business owners, please let your employees, give them a chance to think on their own, to meet your deadlines, and to carry out the responsibilities that you gave them. The worst thing that you could do is micromanage them, because it makes them feel as though you don't trust their judgment. You don't trust that they can do the job in an effective manner. It makes them feel like kids. And again, I'm just reiterating things that I've gotten on surveys when I've been out doing training. People don't like being micromanaged. So really just set your deadlines. Provide all the necessary resources. If you're giving them something to do, make sure they know who to call, everything in regards to resources. And if there's something that you forgot, be sure to communicate that effectively with them so they can feel empowered to go out to do their jobs. The best person you can have on your team is someone who feels empowered and inspired to work for you. That again can make your team a high performing team or a higher performing team if you're able to let that person go out and start to develop themselves in that specific position, because a lot of times people want to see themselves grow. They want to achieve different things. They want to, some may want to climb the corporate ladder, or maybe grow within your organization or take on more responsibilities, but you will never know if you're not able to trust them to see how well they do their job. So please do not micromanage your team. And one other thing, I kind of alluded to it earlier, people are more inclined to represent you. They're more inclined to sing your praises. They're more inclined to, for those who are small business owners, they're more inclined to go out and refer people to your business. And if you're looking to expand, that is a great way, because your employees will simply go out and say how great you are, how you let them take their career, and run with it, or their ideas and run with it. The only thing you ask is that they communicate. So just giving people the freedom to be creative in that space speaks volumes for their engagement, their performance, and their belief in your company, and your mission. So make sure you think about that when you are on that borderline of micromanaging people. So, and lastly, this is one vital takeaway. So make sure you write this one down as well, is get feedback from everyone. Now, I'm not saying you have to sit down and take everybody's comment up to the C-suite level. That's not what I'm saying. But if there is something or a process or whatnot, make sure you're opening the floor for people who may have an idea about how it could be possibly improved. Because what I have learned is, we all have great ideas, but there's always another idea that could be equally as great, or it may be better. But we will never know that if we don't open our minds to the possibilities and allow our employees to actually do the job that we ask them to do. So get feedback. And if for those who are maybe soft-spoken on your team and that's not their strong suit, then having a comment box. where, and if you're worried about handwriting or whatnot, just ask them to type up their feedback and put it in the box. And then you can discuss the feedback at team meetings. You don't have to sit, of course, you won't know where it came from. That's a true way to know that it's anonymous, because some people are worried about, if I do an online survey, it identifies my computer and so forth and so on. But if you have a survey box where people could come in and just drop their little notes in there, and they could be mentioned at a meeting, that will be great. And it gives people a chance to have their voice heard. And for those who are vocal, it's okay to have them to share in the meeting as well, because people feel like they are adding value if their voices are heard. And they are more likely to contribute more, because at some time you may be trying to implement a new program or a product or whatnot, and you tried something and maybe it didn't work like you thought. But if you opened up the floor for other people to just share some insight with you, you'll be amazed at what you could learn. And this plays to the strong suit of those who are very vocal. They can actually go out and rally more ideas for you. If you just give them the process in regards to how you may want it done, let them run with it. Let them play to that strong suit, especially if they're vocal or what I like to call them, the social butterflies. So those are just some takeaways that you can do to make your team more effective, to expand your brand experience, where people will go out and just say how great you are, which generates referrals, which expands your platform. Those are some things that I know everybody wants in their business. And of course, you want that even if you're a manager somewhere at another organization. People want people to rave about them. So with that being said, this series for teamwork will continue for the rest of the month. So my hope is that for you guys that tuned in tonight, share this information with your friends or colleagues or whomever, and definitely get them to tune in to the More Out of Life Facebook Live next Thursday at 7:30. I will be talking about other facets of teamwork for the month of November. And another thing I like to say, for you guys who are looking to get some information or what have you, please join the More Out of Life Academy group on Facebook. I post a lot of information there. I post the replays of the videos and things of that nature. So join that group on Facebook. And again, share this information. Let everyone know that I come on at 7:30 every Thursday Eastern time. So until next week, I look forward to connecting with you. And if there's any questions or comments that you have in regards to this video, don't hesitate to inbox me. Either myself or another member of my team will get back to you at our earliest convenience. And if it's just a general question, you can definitely post it in the comments, and we'll definitely get back to you. So until next time, you guys have a great evening.